This is the 260th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud. And it appears in Tractate Chulin, page 30b. Another Rav Papa Taiku. And this is something I've noticed, that Rav Papa asks quite a few Taikus. Maybe the most. If you take a statistical analysis of all the rabbis who ask Taikus, these are unanswered questions. I think Rav Papa would be there at the top. Probably Rav Yirmiyah would be right up there too. Rav Yirmiyah asks a lot of Taikus. Rav Papa asks quite a bit of Taikus. Quite a few Taikus. But it'd be interesting to see who has the most. But in any case, one thing is for sure, Rav Papa asks the first Taiku. In Brachot 8a at the bottom. And again, we have Rav Papa, boy Rav Papa. Acholid b'miut simoni mahu teiku. Rav Papa raises a dilemma. If one concealed the knife in cutting the minority of the simanim, these are the signs, meaning that of the animal's neck to the windpipe and the esophagus, the trachea, I think. Silmamen cut the majority of the simanim in a standard manner. What's the halacha? So this is another teiku was if someone concealed a knife. Does that invalidate the shechita or not, the slaughter or not, the ritual slaughter? Is it kosher or not? This is a question, and I'm not sure why it would be or wouldn't be, but the Gemara wasn't sure and left it as an unanswered question. And now we have another question similar to it. If one concealed the knife in cutting only part of the animal's neck, but then removed it, and then it's open for the neck, so it's a half covering. I mean, talk about minutia, talk about detailed case. Who covers? Just a matter of practicality. Why would anyone cover? Why would anyone do that? What would be the purpose of it? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually never happened in the history of all ritual slaughter, because because time is money, and time is valuable, and animals are valuable, and we're not dealing with just some happenstance. If a person is going to ruin their either livelihood or ruin food, which was, in those days, I mean, any day it's very valuable. No one's going to do that. Not one person would ever do that, ever. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it never happened even once in the history of mankind, of the whole shechita, from whenever it started until now. Like, why would a person ever cover it? Yet, they ask this question, it's unanswered. Like, I can't, here's the tradition. The tradition is that Elijah, the prophet, will answer the questions. But can you imagine anyone who will go over to Elijah and say, what if I covered the animal only halfway? I mean, my question was on even covering it at all. It probably never happened. But for sure not covering it halfway. There would be no reason for that. There'd be absolutely no purpose for covering it halfway. Slaughtering the animal just enough. You covered it just a little bit, and then you removed it, and then who in the world would do that, and why? I posit no one, ever. But this is, in fact, the 260th unanswered question, to which is stated we must wait for the Messiah, the son of David. My question is, who will ask him this question, or Elijah? Who will ask him this question? I mean, that's part of my work in this thing. That it's a mixture of wonderment and maybe a little bit of creative process, something to complete. These questions are like They're unanswered, but who would ever ask them? Who would ask them? But the tradition is that we must wait for the Messiah, and then Elijah answers the questions. Now, why Elijah? Why not the Messiah? The Messiah is the ultimate Torah teacher. Why wouldn't he answer these questions? Let's wait and see.